Hey guys. So, I did that Alien Covenant video, and I just did not expect the reception it got. Like, in 1 week, it almost has 13,000 hits. And for the most part, the reception's been really positive. There's been a lot of negative on there, too, from people who are upset what I said about Ridley Scott. And they're also really mad that I didn't love the movie. And I asked for explanations in the original video for why this movie's great. Unfortunately, a lot of the people who like the movie did not come on and actually explain why they like the movie. A lot of people did. A lot of people came and gave really nice little, they wrote a nice little paragraph why they liked the movie. A lot of other people, I got the typical, you're not a real Alien fan, you're a retard, you sound like a faggot, you're a nerd, you have a whiny bitch voice, you're gay, Ridley Scott's great, you don't know what you're talking about, you suck, all the typical stuff. This review sucks, bye butthurt fanboy. The franchise has quit you. You don't quit it. Yeah, I don't think it works that way. A bunch of stuff, You don't understand Alien. You don't understand the franchise. You don't understand Ridley Scott. You don't understand the thematic. It's that I don't understand any of it. It's not that it's, how I feel about it. It's that I don't get it. I don't get the brilliance of this movie. But, it was typical. I knew I was going to get a lot of flack. I got a lot of flack. But like I said, the majority of the reception's been fairly positive. People seem to really like the jokes, the Michael Fassbender jokes. And I'm glad those went over well. And people seem to generally relate to my frustration with a lot of things in the movie. And I'm glad that people really enjoyed it. But I thought about it for those people who were upset that said I didn't give it a fair look. Some people said that I was too harsh on Ridley Scott. One guy said it was like the most brutal video he's seen on a filmmaker in a long time. I was like, damn, geez. I didn't mean for it to come off that bad, guys. I just wrote it to be funny. When I wrote the video, I thought it would be funny. I didn't think it would fucking make people think I was like that pissed off. Some people seem to get that it was a big joke fest. But anyway, let's get back to this. A lot of people are saying, you're not fair, you weren't open-minded, you went in to hate this movie, because I went to go pay $10 to go see a movie to hate it. That makes no sense. I was hearing good things about Alien Covenant, too. Like, Sargon said it was a good movie, even though he said he had issues with it. It was getting good reviews. I thought, okay, this movie's probably going to be alright. And I hated it, so I didn't go in like, oh, I can't wait to shit on this movie. I went and paid to go see it. I don't go pay to see movies I'm gonna hate. I'll watch them later on TV or watch them online. I'm not gonna go to the theater. I wanted this to be good. Other people, other people just, if you disagree with them or you say something they don't agree with, a lot of people got mad about the Gladiator stuff and all that. I get that. I get that upsets you. It upsets me when people talk about filmmakers I like too. So I understand. But for you guys, I'm going to talk about things I liked about Alien Covenant, because in the review, I didn't really talk about the movie's positive qualities a lot. I focused a lot on my issues with it visually, the story, the writing, the characterization, the plot twists, everything, the pacing. I had a lot of issues. I only talked about minor things I liked that I didn't really go into detail. So to give this a fair shake, to give this a fair look that people want, I'm going to talk about the things I did like about Alien Covenant, even though they're very few, and I don't think any of them benefit the movie enough for me to give it any kind of edge. I'm gonna watch the movie again down the road, probably on TV or something, and see how I feel about it. But basically, I'm here to say some things about the movie that I did enjoy when I saw it, and that means something, I guess, if people want a positive look, because everyone's been making a lot of shit on Alien Covenant videos. And then there's other channels on your, like, Hybrid Network where they make a fucking Alien Covenant video every day with some bullshit new theory. So, it's weird. People are really riding this Alien thing right now. I didn't know there were so many fans out there, so it's cool. So let's talk about the things I like, though. One aspect. Billy Crudup, I like a lot in this movie. Not his character, necessarily, his acting. Billy Crudup is one of the most underrated actors of the last 20 years. Billy Crudup is a terrific actor. He's great in this performance-wise, and I like the idea of his character. I like the tragedy early. Oh, by the way, spoilers, obviously. I like the tragedy of his character, of the tragic death early on of James Franco's character. I don't like that they didn't set him up a little bit more, but I like the disaster happening and it not being a xenomorph thing or anything like that. I like somebody dying early on, the crew having to react to it. I thought that was very compelling as a concept, and I wish they would have explored that more. They kind of dropped it once they got to Paradise, but I really like the idea of this, like, sadness about the death. The score by, I think it's Jed Kurzel. I'm not sure if I'm saying his name right. I don't like how the music's used in the movie, but the music on its own is terrific. Like the chestburster scene with the emotional music. That scene's hilarious in the movie to me, but that music on its own is wonderful. I've listened to the soundtrack a little bit now, and I can't believe how good it is. It's really good. It's really fucking good. I like it a lot, and I highly recommend going and listening to it. And I think that part kind of surprised me, as I didn't really notice it when I was seeing the movie in the theater. But really good music to this movie, and it deserves credit for that. No doubt about it. It did have a good score. It had, for the most part, good acting. People were not bad in this movie. Nobody was really bad. Danny McBride was good. Catherine Waterston was okay. I thought she was, like, kind of bland, but she was okay. Everyone was fine, really. And in fact, I'd say the performances were more consistent and a little bit more... They just felt a little more... I don't know. Prometheus, I felt like everyone was acting. In this movie, I kind of bought these people a little bit more as these characters. Trying to think of other things I liked. Oh, there's one scene that's very tense that somebody pointed out to me, and I forgot about it. And it is very tense, and I wish the movie had more of it. There's a scene where David walks in on the protomorph or something eating someone, and then he tries to communicate with it, and he kind of touches it like a horse, and then Billy Crudup's character points a gun at him, and you don't really know what's going to happen. It's one of the only scenes with genuine tension in the film. You don't know if Billy Crudup's going to shoot the thing. You don't know if David's going to do something. You don't know if somebody else is going to come in. David touching it and talking about it like a horse is actually very interesting. It makes kind of a lot of sense. It's cool to watch. And it's much better than that emotional chest burster scene that happens like just 5 minutes later. This moment, if the movie had more moments like this, be pretty good. Because that's actually a genuinely very well thought out, well directed, blocked moment. It's well acted. And like I said, you don't know what's going to happen. You're sitting there going, I don't know how this is going to play out. And I think it's one of Michael Fassbender's best moments in the movie. And I think it's a very good scene. And I forgot to compliment it in the original review that was, because I was just thinking about all the stuff so fast, I forgot about those things. It's like, that was a really good scene. And I remember when I watched the movie, I was kind of like tense during that part. Because none of the horror scenes got me for the most part. Another video was pointed out to me that showed something that I forgot that I really liked in the movie. When the two characters die in the shower off-screen, which I did not like that scene with the loud music and the off-screen deaths, that part sucks. But Catherine Waterston and Danny McBride, Tennessee, walking there, and it's like kind of one shot, and she just walks in and sees their like bodies ripped apart, and we see the aftermath of the attack. That was the most effective moment of horror in the movie. And it's kind of great. It's Ridley Scott really nailing it. It's showing a lot of restraint. Don't show us anything. Just hint at what's happening. She goes in there. We don't know where the alien is. We don't know what's going to happen. Once again, lots of tension. And it's got this... It feels like horror because it's got this shock and reveal to it, to the character and the audience, that is really good. And that one moment's like a thriller moment, and that moment's a horror moment. And it's the most straight horror moment in the movie. It really shows you the gore and the after effect, and it shows you how subtlety in horror makes sense, and leaving a lot to the imagination. That scene leaves to your imagination how brutal the death was and what it looked like. It just showed you that they didn't need to have a lot of CGI to make this movie work, because those scenes are more effective, scenes like that, than a big action set piece chase sequence. It's more effective to have a sequence like that, and Ridley Scott knows how to direct scenes like that. I know he does. So he shows that occasionally in this movie. Unfortunately, the rest of it's not really consistent like that. You know what's going to happen, and it's full of stupid decisions, and it feels more like a slasher flick than a really sophisticated horror film with depth. But those two scenes are really good, right? Really good. I kind of like the scene where she talks to the captain and says, we don't know what the fuck's out there. What are we going to do? They're kind of forcing the Ripley thing, but I like her saying that. It's true. So that was a very nice moment of dialogue, actually. And a lot of people are praising Michael Fassbender in this movie, and I thought he was good in it, but I actually think Billy Crudup's going to get underrated in this because his character's kind of shitty, but he actually did a really good job playing off Michael Fassbender. That dynamic was interesting, and I wish it had been way longer in the movie. That's what I said about this movie. They killed off characters too quick. because I didn't dislike those characters. And I'm not saying that I mind them dying. It's just how you pace it and flesh it out throughout a movie. It just feels too abrupt here. There's not enough pathos. I can get, like, what do you believe in, and then it popping out and all that. But it's just not enough. That all happens too quick, and you don't get to know enough there. And it only hurts the themes of the movie. Because you don't get to appreciate and value what it's trying to say, because it's exploitive with a lot of these things. Few mistakes I made. I said Dan O'Brien or something instead of Dan O'Bannon, which was an accident. That was just a slip up. I think I pronounced most of the other names right. I didn't say that I liked The Martian in the video, so people want clarification. I actually do like The Martian. Okay, I think it's all right. That was a point. I should have said that in the video. Some other things about this movie that I like. The editing by Pietro Scalia is actually now don't get me wrong, I blame a lot of the bad editing on the script. I think the script is where a lot of the bad pacing and fleshing out and the stuff they decided to cut, and I don't think they really had a full idea what this was, but the actual transitions to this movie, the actual editing, like from scene to scene flow, is very good. It's kind of what keeps the movie from being completely, like, falling apart, is that it's actually pretty well put together, which you expect from Ridley Scott. He knows how to shoot and frame move, but the actual editing's very good. The set design on the ships, I thought was very good. I didn't really care for any of the set design in David's Batcave, but the ships itself and all that stuff I thought looked pretty damn good. I really liked a lot of that. I liked the aliens influence in there. I thought that was very cool. There's occasionally a shot that's really cool and fascinating, although not one shot really stood out to me, unfortunately. I was hoping there was going to be some more shots. My favorite shot in the movie, that's a tough one. What's the one that I probably sticks with me the most is, I guess it's that... I saw it in the trailer, but I don't remember if it was in the movie. In the trailer, there's a shot where they show the xenomorph jumping on the walls in this red lighting, and it goes... But I don't remember if that was in the movie. That was a pretty awesome shot in the trailer. I was like, fuck, that's awesome. It looks like a video game. Kind of like reminded me of Alien 3, sort of the stuff at the end of Alien 3. But God, my favorite shot's probably when they first get to the planet, there's a moment that they're getting attacked or something, and then David shows up and like shoots a light gun, and there's like this flash, and you see him and stuff like that. That's pretty beautiful. That's a pretty nice little moment. It looks like a photograph. It looks like something capturing a moment. It's kind of an iconic moment. I like the bad guy winning at the end. I like the evil ending. I wish it wasn't predictable, and I wish I didn't know what was going to happen, but I like it happening, and I thought it was a cool way to end the movie. I thought the last 3 minutes, 4 or 5, was the most interesting part of the movie, and that's what sucks for me, is that, like, I felt like, honestly, I would almost feel like this movie could have worked better if that had been the halfway point, that these guys had just went to this planet, got killed off, David switched over with this other android and then went on this ship and then took it over, because that part's interesting. Like him saying to her and freezing her and not getting... That part's creepy. Her reaction to it's scary. Not knowing what the fuck David's totally going to do here. It leaves a lot to your imagination what's going to happen in between this and the next movie. I like that a lot. And it's pretty damn awesome. So kudos to that as well. But, once again, small doses. I actually liked the Neomorph. I thought the Neomorph design was way cooler than the other designs in the movie. I actually liked how the Neomorph killed. I liked how brutal it was. That stuff didn't bother me either. I actually wish there had been more of that. I wish there had been one Neomorph in the movie and that had been the only alien throughout the whole thing. And that way we could have focused more on the characters and had less of this just like, hey, this alien's going to come in now to kill someone because the plot needs it. Too much for me. But those are the things I like the most that come close to mind, come to mind immediately. Maybe there's something else I'm forgetting. But hopefully that helps for some of you people who thought I was a little too harsh. And hopefully that answers some questions for you other people out there that were asking me things. If you want to know my favorite films in the series, I'm pretty much like a Aliens guy. I think they're right there. And then my next would be Alien 3, and then Prometheus, and then Alien Resurrection, and then this movie, and then AVP, and then AVP, the second one, Requiem or something. That's probably how I'd rank the series for my personal taste. And Alien Isolation's probably the third best one, if you can count it. So, or even the second, really, if you cut that down to, like, a couple hours. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe, and thank you for watching. All right, I wish I gave you a good old face hug.